Let's get right into this review for Scarlet. Alright, so Scarlet is directed by Mamoru Hosoda. He was the director behind the animated film called Belle back in 2021. I recall Belle being a well-crafted visual spectacle back then, alluding heavily to the Beauty and the Beast storyline, albeit in the anime format with some flair and twist to that classic story. Scarlet follows a similar boat in which the story's premise is mostly derived and inspired this time around by Shakespeare's Hamlet, which is arguably one of the most widely known plays out there. So this film takes a lot of the core themes and concepts from Hamlet while adding the special Mamoru Hosoda's stylistic flair with various twists and turns to create an original cinematic experience finally known as Scarlet. And now that I've seen the film in its entirety, what did I think about the cinematic package here? I thought this was an alright time, but not without some messy flaws. To start with the positives, the visuals are outstanding. There's something that can feel very profound, vastly grand, or simply put, creative with how most of the animation sequences play out. And I was sort of enthusiastically blown away within some segments showcased in the film. The creative direction is definitely all there to make for some unique visuals for the film. Also, the audio was pretty darn incredible too in IMAX. It really elevated some of the pivotal scenarios, and I was able to feel the impact of the soundscape at the theaters. Also, as much as I thought the execution of certain set themes and concepts remain inherently flawed, I still appreciated them nonetheless. The film tackles and explores the essence of humanity's nature to be both good and evil, and I was able to appreciate that in a few scenarios as the acts get going. And even though it didn't work or resonate with me at all times, I still appreciated how ambitiously profound the film was trying to be within the various story beats throughout the acts. Now as for the negatives, one of the biggest gripes I had was feeling disconnected at several crucial moments, mostly in Act 2. Just the way Scarlet's mid-journey was stitched together for this cinematic experience felt downright messy or too incohesive for my liking. I think the story tries to be too profound for its own good each step of the way, and the story ends up getting lost in the sauce more often than not. We're forced to tag along a journey with barely any cohesive elements, stringing each segment together, and all of it ends up feeling surface level or bare bones, with the core of the storytelling feeling C-tier at best. There are also several introduced plot holes or plenty of just go with the flow moments that did bother me to a certain extent in Act 2. I also knew full well from the beginning how the story was going to inevitably play out, and the film never did divert or surprise me in any shape or form from these expectations. So it unfortunately just made me conflicted, as I still wanted to give the creative direction credit where it's due, but the overall story execution just wasn't strong enough to warrant any other praise. My final score for Scarlet ends up being 6.5 out of 10. This was an alright one-time watch experience for me. There's a lot going on in this film, but it never does quite hit the mark when it matters the most. I do appreciate the ambition and creativity poured into the visuals, but the screenplay inherently tried to do too much and ended up with less. Anyway, since we're checking this review out, I'll have more coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I shall see you on my next upload. Until then, stay safe out there, and peace.